This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional. Yes, they keep coming because people keep wanting to come on. And yes, we do have a returning guest for this episode. But before we bring that man in, I'm one of your hosts, Jay O'Brien. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How are we going today, Ryan?
I am living the dream. Considering this is our second episode in 12 hours, I'm definitely living the dream. We recorded one at 10 o'clock last night, and it's now 10 o'clock the next morning, and we have another awesome guest on the line, so I'm good to go. Excellent.
Well, guys, remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles and Martin Kearns. They've got some great books out there. They're just awesome people. And you should check out their work. And remember to buy Ryan's shirt, because if I don't say that twice, it is, and I said this last episode, but it is a best-selling shirt in Ryan's household.
In my household.
So,
definitely. And one out of every two people in my household bought my shirt. So, and that wasn't me, surprisingly. So it was my wife. So, but I do need to remember to do washing occasionally, because I haven't worn it in the last few episodes. And I know we've recorded the last few episodes in like a week, but so don't think I don't do washing over like 3 or 4 weeks time. I do it every week. But because it is such a special shirt to me, I need to wash it separately in like a delicate bag so that the print doesn't fade.
Okay.
So it can't just go in with all the other washing. I need to do a separate load for that, and I just can't remember sometimes. I'm too busy reading awesome books, like Mr. Schenkman's books, who we're going to talk to right now.
Right now, yes. Well, let's acknowledge him. Ben, how are you going?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, guys. And I really appreciate you having me back on.
No, glad to.
Definitely. I actually wasn't lying when I said awesome book, because I did get the 3 books that were out when we interviewed you last, and since then I have read all 3, and I absolutely love the concept. I got them all on Kindle Unlimited, and I have bought the first 2 in ebook format because I have so many books, they're all on my tablet, but I have actually bought the first 2, and I plan on buying the next one when I get paid next. So absolutely love those 3 books.
Oh, thank you so much.
You got a real fan here, Ben. You got a fan down under.
That is my goal. That is my goal.
Yeah, I'm yet to get any fans of my own other than Ryan, but that doesn't count because he's my beta reader. And
no, I am the alpha reader now.
Now he wants to be the alpha reader because it sounds cooler, but it means I'm sending him something every couple of days. It's just like, here you go.
If I can talk shop for a second, finding like having a good alpha reader is gold. Like I have an amazing alpha reader, and she will immediately tell me if whatever it is that I'm cooking up is crap.
Yeah.
No, I have just sort of, because I've been reading a lot more over the last 12 months, and I've been getting through my TBR list, I've started to sign up for certain authors' ARC readers. So I read all of Jamie's stuff before it comes out. And like he said, with his latest book, he sent me the prologue and chapter 1. So I'm going to read that tonight. But I'm finding that when I'm reading books, because I'm a Nazi grammar. I'm a grammar Nazi. Like I am spelling Nazi. I will go through it. And a friend of the show and a really good horror writer, Don Campbell, I was reading his latest book, Fright Manifest, and I found 2 spelling mistakes, and I sent it to him, and he would be like, he said, "Oh, that would be awesome if you were an arc reader and it wasn't published for a few months." And so I actually signed up for his latest one. He's got a
Mm.
Christmas horror novella coming out soon, which I have signed up to be an arc reader so I can correct any spelling mistakes
Mm.
before they come out.
Amazing. I'm gonna have something for you, Ryan, when we get talking about what I've got coming
Awesome,
up.
awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. I like
Yeah.
that.
And just a heads up, Ryan, because I caught this myself, the copy that I sent you of my current
Hmm.
book, what I'm working on, there is a spelling mistake in there, and I picked it
Okay,
up. So like
okay,
after
okay.
I sent it to you. So,
All right.
you know,
It's inevitable. It's
it's
absolutely
Yeah, oh,
inevitable.
100%.
yeah.
100%. And look, it doesn't throw me off if I read a spelling mistake in a
Mm.
book because I will just go, oh, okay, that needs to be corrected. But obviously, if it's published, like at the moment, I'm reading S.S. Fitzgerald's Sin Its Past, which is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to read a lot of horror this month for October.
Mm.
And there was a few grammatical errors, but it didn't take away from me reading the actual book. And I wasn't going to say anything to him, but seeing as he's been sending me spider stuff in my DMs since we spoke, and he knows that I have massive arachnophobia, he sent me the trailer for a new game, which is literally you're in a lab and there's giant spiders, and they're not mutated spiders, they actually look like real spiders, they're just huge. Like one is based off the Huntsman from Australia, and it dead set looks like a Huntsman, just massive. And he just sent it to me, no caption, no nothing. And I said, I replied saying, thanks for that. No, thank you. And he goes, you should live stream you playing it. It'll be amazing. And I was like, thanks, man. So now I'm
Wow.
going to go through and I'm going to send him all the grammatical errors that I find in his books.
There you go.
Absolutely not. I'm on the same page as you with the
Oh
like, oh,
man.
oh, spiders? No, thanks.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
And it's horrible because also another one of my favorite indie horror authors, Janelle Sheikey, I've read all three of her books and they're absolutely amazing. And her new book is all about spiders. And I absolutely have to read it because I love her writing, but at the same time, it's going to really test my
yeah.
arachnophobia. So,
It'll be like me reading Don Campbell's Whispers in the Woods. I had to read it
mm,
in increments because it got so creepy, you know?
mhm.
And it's the horror that I appreciate the most because it's not graphic or gore.
Oh,
It's just the atmosphere,
psychological,
the atmosphere.
yeah.
I live in a national park and I'm like, I
Mm.
couldn't go for a walk in the bush like I do every day for like a week. You know? It's just
Yeah. He's really good at putting you in
yeah,
the place. Like
yeah.
with Fright Manifest, it takes place across a flight, a 6 hour flight, and you've just got eight people in the plane cabin. And it sometimes cuts away to air traffic control, but it's mainly those eight people in, one section of a plane for the whole book. And not once did I feel like, oh man, we're stuck in this plane still. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he's really good at setting the atmosphere, setting the scene.
And freaking
But
me
yeah,
out.
yeah. But this is not the John Campbell podcast. This
No.
is the Ben Schenkman
Ben
podcast.
Schenkman, yeah,
So I apologize. I haven't had much sleep, and I've had my morning coffee, my sugar-free V.
Mhm.
So it's kicking in right now. So I'm
There
good.
we go. Well, let's kick it off with these icebreakers. What do you say?
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
with the new updated version, Ryan, do you want to go
Mhm.
first or do you want to go second?
Let me have. I actually should have a look at these questions. I will go first because I know you like to talk about animal sidekicks, and that's question number two. So, all right. So this, I'm going to have to read these off the sheet for the first time in a very long time.
Mm.
So the question number one of the second round of icebreakers: what is your least favorite trope in any form of storytelling?
I it's a close tie, but I think my least favorite trope is the it was all a dream
Yeah.
trope.
Oh,
Mm.
yes.
Um, it's like if we're gonna, you could talk about it in books, you could talk about it in TV. Like the most disappointing reveal.
Mm.
One of the most disappointing reveals ever was Lost, when it was like it
Yes.
wasn't exactly a dream, but they were, I mean,
They were dead.
spoilers, they were dead the
Yeah.
whole time. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you've just taken all of the stakes out of everything that has
Mm.
ever happened in the past umpteen. Yeah, it's like it's the thing that makes people care about stories is being invested in something, and
Mm.
usually there's some kind of stakes. And if you make it fake, then suddenly you've taken away any reason for me to care about it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
1 trillion% I can agree. Especially with Lost. That was 6 solid seasons of 24 episodes a season, and it was ruined in the last episode with
Mm.
like, hey, you
Hmm.
guys have just been in purgatory the whole time. Now you can go to heaven. But and I love that show so much because I really like the whole flashback, flash forward, spending an
Yeah.
episode learning about something more about that character's life.
Mm.
um, it was such a good show, and I never finished it because I heard about what happened in the finale, and I don't want to watch it. And I
Yeah.
start to watch it again, and I get to season 4 or season 5, and I'm like, I know what's going to happen. There's no point in
Yeah.
continuing on. Um, I absolutely hate that, and that's how. And so I apologize, spoilers for a 2-year-old movie, 3-year-old movie, but
What,
the
Joker?
second Joker movie
Hmm.
did that as well. And I was skeptical of that to begin with because I was like, okay, musical, let's see how they do it. And I watched it and I'm like, okay, you know what? The musical numbers fit. It doesn't make it a bad movie. I enjoyed it up until the last 5 minutes where they just revealed everything was in his head. None of that happened.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, nah, that is my number one thing I hate about books, movie, television
Yeah.
shows, everything.
I think that's why Inception does an interesting job because you go, is it a dream? Is it, like I like things like that. Was it truly, you know?
Yeah,
Instead of it's just a lazy way to do it.
it is.
It's just like
100%. It's lazy storytelling.
yeah. Why did you tell a story at all?
Exactly. Exactly.
Famously, and this is like way classic, but like there was a whole season of a show called Dallas
Hmm.
that was explained away as the whole season was just a like wasn't even an episode.
Yeah.
Whole season was just a dream. We retconned everything.
It's
They
like
do that. They do that so often, and sometimes it's when a character has shot that season and has done something and they need to get rid of that character. Like, for example, there was a show that I used to watch growing up, which I'm sure everyone knows, called Roseanne. With John Goodman, the guy that I can never pronounce his name, who ended up being Leonard in The Big Bang Theory. And like it was a good show. Like it was a family show about, a middle class family just doing their thing, working through. And apparently, I haven't seen it, but I apparently the last season or the second last season. John Goodman's character died of a heart attack, and all these things happened to the family. And then Roseanne Barr said some really racist things on Twitter, and to get rid of her, they cut her from her own show. And then they came back for a final season saying, "Oh, that was just all a dream," and that John Goodman was alive again. And they just continued on without Roseanne. And apparently, she died from a drug overdose in the show. And that was all her like lucid or not lucid, like her drug-fueled dream state that whole season. So yeah,
hmm.
it's crazy.
Well, there you go. I just Googled who did the first It Was All a Dream. And apparently it's a 1914 film called A Florida Enchantment. Um,
Hmm.
and then it referenced Wizard of Oz as well.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, but technically that like I will give Wizard of Oz a pass because I feel like that movie didn't suffer because it was revealed at the end that it was
Yeah,
all a dream. I think it would still, it was that kooky and crazy that it made sense.
yeah,
Whereas something like Lost, you can believe that a plane crashed and these people survived on the island and stuff
yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give Wizard of Oz a pass because
Yeah,
it was such a good movie regardless of
yeah,
that.
it was a classic. Um,
Yeah.
all right, Ben, let's talk animal sidekicks. If you could have one,
Yes.
if you could have an all talking animal sidekick, what would you pick? And bonus points if you can tell us what it's going to sound like. Is it going to be James Earl Jones? Is it going to,
Okay, I'm going to tell you which animal I'm picking, and then imagining it with James Earl Jones's voice is now hilarious.
Okay.
Okay, in honor of the book I have coming out, I have to say it would be a raccoon
Oh, okay.
sidekick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Because the book has a raccoon, not non-talking,
Hmm.
but a raccoon sidekick. And also, I love raccoons,
Mm.
like little trash pandas wearing
Yeah.
masks,
Hmm.
Yeah.
stealing your trash with their little hands. Yeah, what would he sound like? Oh man, I don't know. Like, I think everyone thinks of Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper as Rocket
Yeah.
Raccoon.
Hmm.
But like, I don't think it would be like that. I feel like, so I'm going to date myself a little bit. There was a cartoon series. Well, I say cartoon. There was an animated series based on a graphic novel called The Max.
All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember the
and it,
Max. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was on, what is it? Liquid Television on MTV back in the day.
Hmm.
And I think it would be hilarious if the raccoon sounded like the really bassy narrator from The Max,
All right.
like a gritty, narrating your way through a dark alley kind of
Yeah.
voice. Like it's just something very not in, so similar to if it was James Earl Jones, something not in keeping with the size and
Yeah.
shape of a raccoon.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
that's awesome.
that show came out in 1995. It
Wow.
definitely showing our age
Hmm.
because I remember watching that like it was not like it wasn't that long ago. And I remember watching it because I think with Fox when we got Foxtel, so Foxtel, Ben, it's kind of like our cable TV out here. That's how it works in Australia. We get like 4 or 5 free to air TV channels for free. And then, you pay, you can obviously pay for streaming now, but then before streaming, we had something called Foxtel, which is, you got a free DVR thing so you could record live TV and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And when Foxtel first came out with MTV, they had the Max on. So I seem to think that it wasn't that long ago, but 1995 is 30 years ago. And that's now making me feel insanely old. So I would have been 13 when it came out. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
about right.
I was 14, Ryan. I'm like,
Mm.
we're
Oh,
aging
now we can
gracefully.
all, yeah, we can all feel old together.
Nice to know I'm the
If
youngest here.
Yeah, by 1 year, man,
Yeah.
one or 2 years, yeah, 1 year. But all I need to do, Jamie, and I've been told this multiple times, is shave my beard, shave my mustache, and my wife is 38, and then when I have no beard and no mustache, she gets mistaken for older than me. We have
Oh,
really good genes in
that
my family.
that's why I grew my beard because
Yeah.
when I was 26, people thought I was a teenager, like, and girls would hit on me. Like 15-year-old, I'm going, go away.
Yeah, but that's because you have no hair as well. That's why you look young. You're bald, and if you shave your beard and mow a mustache,
Mm.
then you would look like a tiny, tiny human being.
Child. Yes.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So at least I have hair. I don't have much of it, but I have like if I don't get my normal number four all over, I think that's part of growing up actually. I think once I hit like my 40s, I said, you know what? My dad has a bald patch at the back of his head. I'm gonna start going bald soon. I'm just gonna do like a number four all over and get it cut short because I can tell that I was gonna start balding soon.
Well, I just clean shaved my head at 21.
Yeah. I don't know why. Why did you do that?
I don't know, I was young and stupid, but also probably because I sweat a lot from the head.
Yeah.
And it was just when summer came, it was just annoying. It's like a wet mop.
And I didn't know you back then, but you were blonde, weren't you?
Yeah, I was blonde.
Yeah. So
When I
yeah,
was a,
I
when I
could.
was a baby, I had or toddler, I had white hair.
Wow.
That was
I
Snow
always
White.
I always said, I think I saw a young photo of you that Chris posted or something on Facebook, and I always thought you looked like one of those kids in that cult from Australia, The Family. Like really white blonde hair,
Yeah.
like white,
Well,
Like
yeah, it looks
like
yeah,
the
Children of the
same.
Corn.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly right.
yeah. There was no, well, no. There's a photo of me and Chris because we went to the same school, primary school. So
Yeah,
yeah, and he's got his like, like 5-6 inch bowl cut. Yeah,
yeah. Oh
and
God, yeah,
yeah, he's Korean, Ben,
yeah.
adopted, but yeah. So he had the classic Asian bowl cut haircut.
Yeah, and I remember when I was in school around that age, I think that was, and it's
All
not
the
to be
rage.
racist. I think that was no, that was like all the Filipinos, Chinese, Koreans,
Yeah,
Japanese, they all had that bowl cut
yeah,
from years kindergarten through till like year six or year seven. Because I had a mate that I went through from preschool
mm,
through to year 12 with. And he, for the first, like from preschool till we got to high school, he had that same bowl cut as what Chris has
yeah.
got.
But
So
then,
it just
and this is the last thing I'll say because I think Ben will find this funny. Yeah, our friend Chris, he works at a big, 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 big company.
mm,
We're not really allowed to say which, but because he's Korean, they wanted to do a fundraiser, and they said, all right, if we raise this much money, Chris has to get his hair cut like Kim Jong-un, a North Korean dictator, and
Boo.
they raised the money before he even knew about it. Like it was all raised like within an hour, and then
But he didn't. They didn't. He didn't even like this. He was voluntold into
yeah,
this.
yeah, and then he did it. It was so funny.
I mean, kudos to him for playing along with the bit, but
Yeah,
geez.
I know. It was just
oh,
yeah,
you know what? Chris would have not only played along, he would have incorporated Kim Jong-un's policies into his
his workplace.
work. He's like, okay, you want me to look like Kim Jong-un? Then I'm gonna act like Kim Jong-un
Yeah,
You
because
get
that's
what you
just the
pay
way that
for.
exactly. That's just like because I think in his company, Chris is one of like four people that they can't
get
make
rid of.
redundant because he knows too much about
Yeah.
the workings of the company. So
Hmm.
he's pretty much got a job for life.
Yeah. His severance package last time I heard was 350 grand.
Yeah.
So he's set. But this isn't the Chris podcast.
No, it's not as much as he would love it to be the Chris podcast.
No, well he
It's
used to
not.
be. He used to be on the show when it was not author based. So
Yeah.
um
And then he's just like he's not a like he's more of an audiobook guy, like because he can listen to it at work rather than read
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You, so the things that I did not have out when I was on the show last, so far I've narrated and produced the first two books of my
Oh,
series
nice.
as
Hmm.
audiobooks.
Excellent.
Okay. Thanks, Ben.
Now he's gonna go get the audio
I'm gonna
version.
have to get him now. 'Cause I have like 12 Audible. Well, I have like 12 Audible credits because so I'm just gonna have to go and get them.
There you
There
go.
we go. I found you. Oh yeah, you got two done. I'm sorry, live on the show.
This is
I've
why
just
we get so
used
many
two
guests.
of. Well, I
Apparently
didn't
that's how
think
you make
that
sales.
I didn't think that you were gonna be able to sell me anything because I have everything that you have, including an art copy of your new book. I'm like, I'm not gonna. Well, it's not really spending money because I just use two of my credits that I keep forgetting that I have, but I now have live on the show. I don't know if you can see it, but Ben
It's blurry. Yeah,
Schenkman's
there you go.
two two audiobooks
Fantastic.
in my to listen because and this is not me tooting your horn, but I think you have a really good voice for that kind of thing.
Oh,
So
thank
I'd
you.
be interested to see how they turn out.
To hear
So
how
yeah,
they
for
turn out.
sure.
So
I'll
you
hear how they
you
turn out.
you've read the books, so you get
I
to
have.
hear. So Amy is voiced by my
Hmm.
partner Katya. and they
Okay.
do an absolutely phenomenal job. Like talk about voices made for audio. Like
Yeah.
I think you'll love those chapters.
Awesome. All right. I'm looking forward to it. I probably because at night time to wind down, this is me to wind down. I read horror books. I read horror comics this month because I'm having a whole month of horror comics. And then I listen to true crime podcasts while I do some mindfulness coloring in on my tablet. So instead of listening to my podcast, I'll now be listening to your first two of the series of the audiobook. So thank you for that, sir.
Perfect.
Okay, all right. Interview over. You've come what you've needed for. You've
No.
come. All right, next question, right?
Oh yes, my turn. Okay. Um, all right, question number three. Oh yeah, I like this one. So your king slash queen slash supreme leader slash president for a day. What's the first thing you do?
So the world's a really weird place right now. So I have to give like a real answer to this
Mhm.
one. If I was king, queen, supreme leader for a day, I would like violently abolish fascism from
Mm.
the planet currently.
Huh?
Uh, because we're in a bad place. But yeah, that's what I would do. Fascism be gone would be like the magic wand that I would wave
Mm.
in as effective a way possible.
Well,
Okay, so I was going to ask you how would you do that, but I like it. You just
magic
gone for
wand.
the magic
Yeah,
wand.
magic wand.
Wave the magic wand. Fascism be gone.
Hmm.
So I like that. I was going to preference uh, with a rule, but you didn't break the rule anyway. I was going to say you can't be that guy, and we all know one person, Chris, who would say, if I'm president or supreme leader for a day, I'm going to make myself president forever. So you can't actually do that. So you didn't do
No,
that, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm happy with that.
Can't wish for more wishes. Rule number
that's it.
one.
That's it.
Exactly, exactly. There's always one person. If you get three wishes, what are you going to wish for? More wishes.
That's cheating. All right, next question is what book or
It
story
is.
would you like to see adapted into film? You can't choose your own. In this world, it's already happened.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's in our perfect world and it's already happened.
books that I would really love to see. This author has been an inspiration for me for a very long time. I may have even mentioned him last time on the show. I can't even remember, but it's a classic urban fantasy author, Charles DeLint. He's Canadian. He writes a series called the Newford series, which takes place in a fictional um, town in Ontario somewhere, and it weaves in a lot of indigenous myths, specifically, I believe, mostly Kikaha. Um, and I feel
Hmm.
like his stories would make phenomenal movies. So, maybe the first one, which I think is Someplace to Be Flying, would be good. Um, yeah, so I would say like a movie based on the Newford series by Charles DeLint would be something I would love to see.
Excellent.
Okay.
Who would you want to direct?
I don't remember the name. Whoever directed What Dreams Might Come, that movie
All
with
right,
Robin
yeah.
Williams and Cuba Gooding
Oh,
Jr.
that's going
Just
back there.
like that feel as far as like half dreamlike. Um, yeah, I would go for whoever directed that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Do you want to consult the almighty Google, Jamie, to find that out?
I can do that. Um, Google. Who directed What Dreams? Oh.
I think
Because
I looked him
I
up
haven't actually heard of
earlier.
that movie.
No, I've heard of it. It's a bit of an obscure one, 1998.
Yeah,
Vincent Ward.
Okay.
yeah,
Can't
he
say I've heard
hasn't
of
done
him,
a whole
so.
lot.
He did The Navigator.
Oh, okay. I like the Navigator.
Yeah, he's done a lot of obscure ones. Yeah, What Dreams May Come would be his most famous. Oh, he's got an
Okay.
Amy Cormac movie, Map of the Human Heart.
What's that?
Map of the Human Heart. So we have a friend called Amy Cormac who's we make jokes because he said some controversial things about maps. Well, they're not
There are
controversial.
I
No,
say
no,
there are
it's not.
controversial things
No,
you can say
no,
about maps.
no. Well, it wasn't controversial, but the conversation that came from all these authors talking about maps, this kind of thing. No, I think he just said he
Oh,
likes.
okay.
He says he likes maps, but they're not. But only when they're necessary.
Hmm.
Like don't put a map in your book if it doesn't really need one. And
Right.
people are like, no, I love maps. Ah! Yeah, it was crazy.
There are a whole lot of like map stands out there that like must have if it's
Mm,
a fantasy novel and it doesn't have a map, it's somehow deficient, even though I'm
yeah.
never going to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm in a situation where I'm working on a fantasy now and I'm dreading the map. I'm dreading the map.
Do you need a map?
Like I'm not really. It's like an aesthetic thing. Like I don't need a map. I have a map because I've built the world and I'm just
Yeah.
referencing it. I need to see it to visualize where things are. But, if someone goes north, you can picture they go north. If they go south, you can picture they go south. Oh, look, they're at the beach. You don't really need to. Now I'm saying controversial things.
I got you. I got
Yeah,
you saying controversial things.
yeah, there you go. Anyway, Ryan.
So question number 5, the final question of the new icebreakers. Okay, so Bill and Ted return in their phone booth time machine from last time. So they've taken you to where you wanted to go. Now they're back and they say, "Whoa, dude, we need your help to confuse an archaeologist. What should we take back in time and bury in the past?"
I think they should take back and bury a book about dinosaurs.
In the dinosaur world?
Yes. So like imagine taking like the Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs and then
Mhm.
going back and burying it in such a way like in a bog so it gets
Yeah.
fossilized. And so they eventually find this fossilized book like the embossed fossilized cover Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs like buried next to a dinosaur.
That's amazing.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. That'll definitely mess with those archaeologists' head.
That's it. That question was actually inspired by Martin Kearns'
Yeah,
time travel question, where he
yeah.
he wanted to go back in time and steal. No, no, he wanted to steal the body of Elvis and take it back to
Hmm.
one of the Egyptian tombs. You know, but
Oh,
then someone digs up Elvis.
that's a little too close to that, but he had a
Yeah,
Bruce Campbell's movie Bubba
yeah,
Hotep.
yeah, yeah. That was an interesting movie.
That it
That's
was a movie.
that's Ash Williams, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Was
Bruce Campbell. Sorry, Ash
yeah,
Williams is his character
yeah,
in Evil Dead. Sorry,
yeah,
my bad. That's how
yeah, yeah,
much I love horror.
yeah,
He'll always be Ash Williams. That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba Hotep's a bit of a horror, Ryan. So you know,
Yeah, I've never seen it. Isn't it he's Elvis in a nursing
yeah,
home or something?
yeah, yeah. He's so the real yeah. So he's the real Elvis. He retired, and the impersonator was such a good impersonator that everyone thought it was Elvis, and he died.
Yeah.
Um, so Elvis lives in a retirement home with a guy down a few doors down who thinks he's JFK. You know, and then a mummy, come. It's just weird,
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
I think I'm gonna put it on my watch list
Like I think
right now. It's probably on Prime or something.
we had someone on that said they really really hated it. Um,
Yeah,
I
that
wouldn't
was
call it
recently.
yeah,
it's not a good movie.
no, well it's a B
It's
grade flick. Yeah,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
movie
yeah,
and it can be entertaining, but yeah, there's very mixed feelings
yeah,
about Bubba Hotep.
yeah. Well, I think
But
it may have
mind
been.
you, I'm a horror fan, so I'm
Yeah.
used to B grade movies.
Hmm.
It'll be fine.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all fine with
I think
me.
it may have been Isaac Anderson who said it, but
Yes.
it's like too it's like they got two really good ideas and put them together and they don't work. So it's like the idea that Elvis is still alive is a good idea, you know. And then they said a mummy in a retirement village or a retirement home, fantastic. But when you mush those together, you know, it's kind of it gets weird, you know. But still, it's a
I think it's weird enough that I might be able to convince my wife to watch it as a
mm,
horror movie,
yeah,
like, you know, which is good because I have to watch all horror movies by myself, usually late at night, because my wife can't stand horror movies if they're not slashers. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I might add it to my list for sure. I mean, you know, if it doesn't matter if it's B grade, like a lot of horror movies I watch are B grade and I still enjoy them.
yeah.
So,
I've been watching a lot more B grade movies lately. I'd more say indie films. Um,
yeah.
and a lot of them are just cool, you know. They just don't get the budget of the big
Yeah.
crazy
And
Hollywood
that
blockbusters.
and that's purely why they're called B grade. Like that Zombicon movie we watched, I would consider that B grade, not
Yeah,
because it wasn't good, but because
yeah,
they didn't have like a massive budget. I
yeah,
really enjoyed that movie.
yeah,
I thought it was a really cool
yeah.
concept,
Well,
something that you haven't seen before.
you know, I don't know if this is right, but personally, I think there's, you know, the Hollywood movies, there's indie films, and then I'd go B grade is lower than that because some of them are just they're horrid.
Oh, some of
Like,
them are complete and utter rubbish,
you know.
but then I'm like, I try and imagine those movies,
Mm,
what they would be like if they had like a, you know, big action flick
yeah,
budget.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever seen Dragon Fighter? Do you remember a Dean Cain movie
Dragon
called Dragon
Fighter.
Fighter?
No,
Oh,
I don't like Dean Cain.
it's it was what do you call it? Yeah, so he never reloads. He's got a shotgun with an orange cap on it, and the dragon in the movie only does three moves or two or three moves, and it's the same thing. They just put it somewhere else. Like it is so bad, you know. There's another one because we used to watch these all the time. I think it's like Komodo versus Cobra or something. And it's a giant cobra and a giant Komodo dragon, and all these people they never reload. They have to stand still when they get eaten, so they're like, no, you know. It's just, but at the same time, I love those old school movies. Velocipaster, you know.
Velocipaster is good. Kung
Y-
Fury.
y- so is it Velocipaster that has the explosion in the
Yeah,
beginning,
and it
right?
just
And
Like
it
says,
says
that's
explosions.
yeah, that alone made it worth like
yeah,
suffering through that movie.
yeah,
That like that gag
yeah,
was unbeatable.
yeah. No, well, with Ryan, with Kung Fu, I'd say that's indie, more indie than
Really?
B grade. Yeah,
Because there was some parts in that that were just
yeah,
ridiculous.
but it was intentional. Like that whole thing was intentional.
Oh,
It
okay.
was all filmed in the guy's garage. Have you seen Kung Fury, Ben?
No, but I'm gonna have to now.
It
It's
is
on
so
YouTube.
good.
It's on
So
YouTube.
good.
It's half an hour. It's a half hour short.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it did so well that they made a sequel that is not being released because it's caught up in red tape or tape or stuff with Arnold Schwarzenegger, um, the Magneto guy.
No, Ian McKellen
No, no,
or
no,
Fassbender.
Fassbender. Yeah, Michael
Oh, the new,
Fassbender, Arnold
yeah.
Schwarzenegger. Um, they're all in this the sequel to it. And, yeah, it's like
Wow.
it's got a really 80s vibe to it.
But they
But
never released that sequel, did they?
no, well, because I think it may have been like when they weren't going to release. It's like the what is it called? Prey, the Predator movie Prey, when like that because that got filmed with Fox, and then Disney bought Fox, and
Mm,
all those films get caught up in the
Oh,
middle, and you know, oh, but we won't release that. We won't release that. Um, yeah. But
fair
anyway,
enough.
let's talk about Ben's new book.
Yes.
Ben's here to talk about his new book. I'm going to do the marvelous thing of bringing up the covers, because I noticed there's two.
In all fairness, I have not read this yet because I'm going to be brutally honest. I forgot that Jamie sent it to me. It is on my tablet to be read, but it's not like I've been reading a lot of books through my Kindle app rather than my, you know, app where I read things that people send me.
mhm.
So now that I know I have it, it will be my next read after I finish Sinner's Pass.
Fantastic. And yeah, just the little backstory behind this whole cover business. The cover on the left, the one where we're seeing the back of the main character,
Hmm.
that was the original cover that I had commissioned. And I wanted it to be a little bit different than like standard urban
Yep.
fantasy covers. But then months went by, and then I opened Arcs, and I was like, I really just don't love this cover. And like historically, I love my covers. So
Hmm.
like the first series, love the covers. The book that's going to be coming out after this one, love the cover. This cover was like, it's all right. And so I commissioned a new cover. These are both through Get Covers, so it's same
Yeah.
company doing them. So then they did the one on the right, and I thought it was a little more dynamic,
Mm.
more on genre, highlighted the raccoon, which is like everyone's favorite
Yeah.
character. Gives you the fistful of magic, which is like the I know I'm about to read an urban fantasy
Yeah.
novel. So yeah, the cover on the right is the current cover. I will say I have commissioned a fully illustrated cover for this book. I just couldn't be done in time
Hmm.
for the release. So I will at some point be re-releasing it with a new cover.
Okay.
Do you think you do it with a like maybe do a hardcover for that other yeah.
I'm waiting on releasing the hardcover
Yeah.
until I have the final
Yeah.
book, because I don't want people wasting their money on a hard. Well, granted, like then it
Mm.
becomes a collector's item
Yeah.
having both covers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna do the hardcover until I get the final cover.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. No, well, it's
Now, just sorry.
no, you go, Ryan.
I was going to say, so just to confirm, it might be obvious, but to some people it might not. So this is not part of the first trilogy that you wrote, correct? It's not connected to that at all.
Correct. So this
Okay.
is a standalone slash series starter in that,
Okay.
like most of my books, it wraps everything up, but then it ends in a way that it teases what's coming next.
Yeah.
So I have the runway to write a trilogy here. I
Hmm.
even have some working titles for the next books. Um, but but yeah, this is my as far as like one-liners and comps,
Mm.
the way that I describe this book, this is Harry Dresden meets Indiana Jones
Mm.
in Lee Bardugo's ninth house, but works for Greenpeace.
Oh wow.
So we've
That's
got the
that's
main.
that's a mouthful.
Put that on a shirt, Ben. Put that on a
Yeah.
shirt.
It is just like but it follows the main character's name is Corbin Pierce. He's a community college professor of anthropology. He's an archaeologist by education, and he is it's an entirely different magic system. So in my first series, it's like a combination of supernatural contract law and pretty standard ceremonial witchcraft,
Mhm.
because that's like what Amy and company get into, is really more standard witchcraft. This book, the magic is based entirely around uh so animism, the idea that everything holds energy, an energy and a spirit, and that magic is a finite natural resource.
Okay.
And most practitioners, and this is again kind of like, this is magic is a secret in that not everyone has magic, so it's
Mm.
that kind of urban fantasy world.
Huh.
And most people use their own resources, their own personal energies to fuel their practice, but then there are those that don't, and so they steal and ravage the rest of the world in order to fuel what it is that they do. And so the main idea of the book is that the indigenous spiritual, like spirit, flora and fauna, are pushed out of New Haven, which is where the book takes place. Basically, urban areas displace the magic because magic comes from nature,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
urbanization and urban sprawl basically kill that. And so Corbin is like spiritual activist, a magical activist that helps to preserve that. And he's up against a secret cabal in New Haven of what I refer to as like high magicians that do a more traditional ceremonial practice, but steal the energy rather than use their own.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if because you said magic in this world is a finite resource, I was going to ask, is it based around nature and coming from the earth and everything? But you kind of already answered that question. So yeah, I always like stories that have that kind of feel to it. So it's not like you've got unlimited magic to last forever and you can just keep casting spell after spell after spell after spell. Because any like fantasy fan, like myself, I love my RPGs and my JRPGs, and we all know that, you know, magic power or mana or whatever you want to call it is not finite. It does run out. So yeah, I'm really glad that that you answered that question already and that you've gone down that path for this book.
Now, I'll have to ask a question because we do have someone who's been on the podcast recently, EL Lyons, who absolutely adores raccoons. Like
Yeah.
she's on, if you follow her on TikTok, she's mainly on there. She went pretty big for just she got obsessed with raccoons and started filming them everywhere. So, what inspired your raccoon friend?
So the raccoon is partially because raccoons are indigenous species of the
Mhm.
area. So this book has a big um, borrowing from indigenous myths. So I am not an indigenous person. Corbin Pierce is not an indigenous person, though he's aligned with the values
Yep.
of the indigenous tribes and their like stewardship of the environment. There's a supporting character who is an indigenous person, specifically portrayed as a member of the Golden Hill Pogussets, which is actually a local tribe in Connecticut. And I had the pleasure of being in contact with clan mother Shoran Piper of the Golden Hill Pogussets, who consulted on my book, answering questions and reading it ahead of time to give me some feedback on it.
Cool.
But the big plot centers around the native myth of the sleeping giant, which was a big spirit named Hobbamock that was in that area, and there's a whole thing around that. So the raccoon comes from it being indigenous wildlife, but also fitting perfectly with the fact that this is an urban landscape. So what better animal
Mm.
to involve in the story than a trash panda, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember that meme, or maybe it's a video where it's like one of those bins with the doors, and the raccoon just does the splits and opens the
Yeah,
door
yeah.
up. I love that video. It's the best thing ever.
I
So
also just love raccoons.
yeah, they are pretty cool. We don't get them over here, so it's
No,
I'm
yeah, it's
kind of jealous.
weird. Yeah, I see a lot of videos of people I follow on Instagram and Facebook, having pandas, trash pandas, everywhere.
Yeah,
Raccoons just everywhere you could think of, and I was like, man, I wish we had them out here.
So can I tell you the real story? Because like
tell
I
me.
forget this sometimes. The real reason that this is a raccoon is because the opening scene or the opening chapter where Corbin meets the raccoon is a scene that happened to me. I was in New
Okay.
Haven. I was walking down the street and I looked to my right and standing near one of the buildings in like right in front of like an out like a space between buildings that's about this thin. Okay, so like maybe like 5 inches. And I look at this massive fat raccoon because it's a well-fed city
Yeah.
raccoon. And I look at him and he looks at me and we're staring at each other. And I am delighted and he is terrified. And he reaches behind himself, puts his hand into the crack between the buildings and slowly pulls himself into the space between the two buildings until he has squeezed his bulk into that space and like moved on. Like all the while, like we're just
Keeping eye
like
contact.
yeah, because I'm a predator. So
Yeah.
like if he takes his eyes off me, he's toast.
Yeah.
So he just drags
Yeah.
himself into. So like I've had that kicking around in my head for like 20 years. Um, and so sometimes I forget that that's why that's a
Yeah.
raccoon. So
Yeah.
that it's the opening scene is inspired by a true happenstance.
It's like that scene on The Simpsons where Homer backs into the hedge.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He did that. It was but between two
Yeah,
buildings.
yeah, that is. Oh, I love that. I think yeah, because they've got hands. It's they grab stuff. It's just I think our kangaroos are a bit like that. They get a bit handsy. They grab stuff from you. Yeah,
Mhm.
But
but
they're more likely to try and punch you out.
it depends.
I love watching, and no offense to Ben or any of our American listeners, but I love seeing you Yanks get knocked out by kangaroos when you think that they're so cute.
Yeah,
Let's go and play tricks on it, and the kangaroo's just like bang, knock the crap
I've
out. It's so funny.
I've always said because I when I was on Isaac Anderson's podcast and Tim McKay's podcast, they played a game with me called Can I kill it or will it kill me? And they showed me the animal and they showed me kangaroo and basically like it depends because we got the red kangaroos were the ones that are
Hmm.
jacked, which are
Yeah,
more desert, more north, and then you got
yeah.
the grey kangaroos and the grey ones are docile as anything.
The grey ones are what you probably most likely see in wildlife parks over
Yeah,
here or
Mhm.
zoos,
yeah,
where you've got the areas where you can walk with the animals.
yeah,
Yeah.
And you can go in there. You can generally, you're not supposed to, but
yeah,
generally you can pat them and feed them and all that kind
yeah.
of stuff. Whereas the red kangaroos, they're the
Will
ones that
kill
will
you.
literally
Yeah, they're
kick
the
the
ones with
shit
like
out
the
of you.
washboard abs that like
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
wait for you in standing water to like
yeah,
drown you, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they fall off
yeah.
like a gym bro.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned this before, but my uncle saw one, because he used to have a farm, and I think he went to a friend's farm, and there was like a not a big dog, but kind of like a smallish dog that ran at the kangaroo. It was standing in a lake, and the kangaroo grabbed it and put it underwater and drowned it. Just stood on it. Like they're brutal. You just don't want to mess with a red kangaroo.
And
Um,
it's just one more thing in Australia that will try and kill you if you come over here.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Stay
That's
away.
Australian tourism for you.
Yeah,
Come over here. We've got things that will kill you.
yeah. Yeah. So true. All right. So, I don't know. Do you just want to give us a bit of a rundown of the overall plot of this book? Entice us.
Yeah.
Entice us.
So yeah, again, Corbin Pierce, he uh regardless of the raccoon, because the raccoon is really what kicks things off.
Yeah.
One of my early reviewers says in the first chapter he jumps off of a roof after a raccoon, and it really doesn't let up after that. It's a relatively fast-paced book, though fans of urban fantasy, it's not going to be uh anything crazy. Ironically, some of the feedback that I'm seeing from some of my early readers is they think that the pace is challenging for them,
Mm.
but the irony being, I feel like my first series attracts a lot of uh cozier, maybe like some people who appreciate more the cerebral
Yep.
part of it.
Mhm.
And so they're thrown off by like an urban fantasy novel that I wrote where it's
Yeah.
like more action
Yep.
oriented. So Corbin Pierce has a historical beef with this secret cabal called the Hand, which is
Ooh.
actually a play on Yale's least secret society. It's
Mhm.
called Skull and Bones. Like everyone knows
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
Skull and
Yeah.
Bones. So in my world, Skull and Bones is real, but it's just a frat secret society like it really is for rich people.
Mm.
But there is a secret part of Skull and Bones called the Hand, is the actual like magic wielding
Yeah.
cabal that runs things. And it shows early in the book that Corbin has a historical beef with these people. The challenge is this turns into a bit of a murder mystery in that Corbin, who, in addition to his work with the native wildlife, also volunteers for some of the soup kitchens that do homeless outreach on one of the fixtures in New Haven called the Green. And the first thing that happens that's like a really inciting incident is that one of the homeless people turns up dead, and
Okay.
it goes from there. So it's Corbin getting deep into this mystery, and determining whether it has a magical bent to it, and then what's causing that. And the ball rolls downhill very quickly after that.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Um, I do back on the covers, I do get like a bit of a movie vibe from them. Like it feels like a movie poster. Was that intentional or
I don't think so. I think so. I get the vibe you're talking
yeah.
about, and I think the vibe is intentional.
Mm,
That it vibe like a movie isn't, but it
yeah.
I was definitely going for that a little ethereal,
Yeah.
a little dark, definitely like evocative feel. Because the one of the things that happens in the book is there's effectively there's the spirit land, and this is pretty close to like indigenous myth, is that
Mm,
there's a spirit land that is somewhat attached to, like, think of it like the normal like material place that we live in. And so people who have the talent for it can peek over to the other side. And so the intention with either of the color schemes was effectively what Corbin sees when
mm.
he's looking into the spirit lands rather than on the physical side.
And you mentioned that obviously you spoke with a member of the indigenous tribe, where that you based the spirit world and everything of. What other research did you do in terms of, maybe the magic system? Is that something you also sort of touched on with the member of the indigenous tribe, or did you just build a magic system from scratch, I should say, sorry.
So the magic system is just kind of straight up made up when it comes
Okay.
to, but it again, it draws from that animistic, everything has got an energy. So it vibes with with more of the beliefs. But there are ceremonies that take place in the book, like um uh there are some things. Clan Mother Piper wrote a book called The Red Road, and I definitely use that as some of my research material for some of the practice or ceremonies that happen that are not specifically tied to the magic. So like this is where it gets tricky, because there are cultural things that happen, and then there are magical things that happen, and they happen like together, but they're not necessarily the same. So like most indigenous cultures consider tobacco to be sacred. So
Okay.
offering tobacco is important. Offering tobacco is an offer and a sacrifice and all that. But infusing the tobacco with your own personal energies is the magic system. So like the tobacco isn't magic. The magic you put into the tobacco is the magic. So it's like they I tried to make them two great tastes that taste great together. Unlike uh Not Dead Elvis and Mummies.
Mhm.
Like I tried to make these go together.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like at one point I don't I that happens way later in the book. I don't want to spoil that. So there are some more ceremonies that
Yeah.
happen that are in line with indigenous practice, that are in the book. But again, the magic system is mostly just of an animistic energy-based bent.
Yeah. So when she read it, because you mentioned that you went to her for questions and feedback and all that stuff. When she read it, was she like, was there anything that you had to change or that she was uncomfortable with, or was it pretty spot on?
So she didn't, but I have. So one of my arc readers is actually of the Anishinaabe tribe.
Oh, awesome.
And she did an early read, and I made a number of changes based on her feedback. And it mostly had to do, again, like the one of the supporting characters is indigenous, and the one of the things that we always have to make sure of, and this is why having like sensitivity readers is
Yeah.
so important, is I had unintentionally did some setting up of plot and other things that was to her mind too much like tokenism,
Yeah.
and so I fixed it. Uh, it's making sure that that side character, supporting character, had enough agency in what they were doing, as opposed to just magically coming in and saving the day for something,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made some. What I can't call them significant because like I
Yeah.
made all the changes that I needed to make in like an hour,
Yeah.
but like it was just little tweaks here
Yeah.
and there of intention and how you're presenting things, to the point where she was satisfied with it. And yeah, Clan Mother Piper had relatively little to say about about the draft,
Yeah.
other than you can't make everyone happy was effectively what she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And she's right. Like I'm
Yeah.
never gonna make everybody happy. Someone's gonna hate stuff that I do. Some
Yeah.
people are just gonna hate the fact that I'm a Jewish author writing in
Yeah.
any way about indigenous stuff.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't portray it from that lens
Yeah.
intentionally because I think that would be doing a disservice
Yeah.
to indigenous artists.
Yeah.
Um, I'm also donating 10% of all of the proceeds from this book to Not Our Native Daughters, which is an indigenous led 501(c)(3 that their mission is to address the missing, murdered, and exploited indigenous women's issues.
Yeah. No, so that's good. That's like, that's awesome. Really. I mean, I think because I know with natives here in Australia, they're very, very, very protective of their, stories and their, we call them dreamtime stories. So
Yeah.
it would be really hard for you for anyone to come along and write a story using some of their things. I mean, there are some things because of the old settler culture of the time. Like we had the bunyip, that's the Aborigine
Yeah.
bunyip, and then there's the European settler bunyip. So there's some things we can do, the Yowie and stuff, but well, there's a lot of fascinating mythological figures from the Aboriginal history here, but they're very, very, very protective of it, so it would be like
Yeah.
really hard to do. Um,
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of uproar. This is going to sound so stupid, but there was a chocolate that came out probably about maybe 10, 15 years ago called the Yowie.
no, it was the
And
90s, man. That was the
oh, 90s,
90s.
okay.
We grew
Okay,
up with them.
90s. And that the Yowie was actually a mythological
It's our Bigfoot.
Aboriginal.
It's our Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Okay.
mythological and sorry, I'm trying to say the word mythological Aboriginal creature. And I remember when the Yowie first came out, there was a massive uproar
Yeah,
from the Aboriginal community saying that, we were appropriating, or,
yeah,
essentially the white man was
mhm.
appropriating was appropriating their
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 culture and
legends and their
yeah,
myths and everything like that,
yeah,
which I can completely understand, like unless there was some deal made,
yeah,
outside of that,
man,
like the fact and to do it as a chocolate, like I get
yeah,
it, you're trying to get kids and everything into it, but
yeah,
don't just diss a whole freaking tribe of people who were
yeah,
actually here before us.
yeah. Um,
But yeah, crazy.
and they're one of my favorite creatures because it's like apparently in the myth they can rotate their
Hmm.
feet right around so you don't know which way they're actually walking. But like that's so cool, like they've got, they can dislocate their feet and walk to confuse you. And it's just like that's a really cool concept. But
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
but can't use it.
Yeah, I
You
mean
know?
that's the trouble, and I did consider that when I was
Yeah.
writing this book, and that's why I made some very intentional
Yeah.
moves to relate what I was doing
Yeah.
and to try to incorporate and honor
Yeah.
the stories without trying to and I had one arc reader that I certainly won't name, but they DNF'd the book um, and said that they felt like I did a disservice to the reader not being upfront in how much the indigenous stuff was part of it. To which I was like, dude, I'm not indigenous. I'm not going to because the problem is if I try to portray it that way, then people are going to think that I am an indigenous writer, and I am not. I am
Yeah.
writing a story that is an
Yeah.
urban fantasy, and it does its best to honor the myths of the area that the
Yeah.
story takes
Yeah.
place in. So like New Haven, Connecticut, the Quinnipiac were the tribe that was there. They are basically non-extant at this point. Like there are still some descendants of the Quinnipiac, but they're not recognized by the state. They don't have any. They don't have a reservation or organization at this point. So like I couldn't even reach out to the
Yeah.
people whose story I was referencing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to do a bunch of research and both folklore and some academics because like Corbin's a professor that teaches effectively American history, and so I use that as an opportunity to bring some historical relevance to what's going on. So like Corbin talks about King Philip's War, which was a war between the settlers and some of the indigenous tribes at the time and whatnot. So there's a lot in there. I think so far all of my readers have said that they thought that the incorporation of the indigenous cultural bits was well done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, yeah, I've always loved the native mythology and like of every part of the world, it's fascinating and the fact that you went out of your way to honor it and to do it respectfully is, that speaks
Hmm.
volumes, you know. Um, so I think a lot of movies can just throw it in there for, oh yeah, we'll just throw it in there, but you know, you got to meet like a tribeswoman, so so that's
Well,
pretty cool.
I got to email a lot with a
Yeah,
tribeswoman,
yeah.
but yes,
Which is such a
I
weird thing, it's like yeah, just um, you know, because I think there's a lot of stereotypes around that, but like all the casino things that turn up again in the movies, they're always at casinos, and it's just like there's more to it than that, guys.
yeah, but that is also there. I lived in southeastern Connecticut where there are two native casinos
Yeah,
for two different tribes,
yeah.
the Mashantucket Pequots and the Mohegans.
Mm.
So yeah, it's all there's a lot of that and yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It is a whole lot more than that though.
yeah, yeah. So what's next? What are you working on now?
Okay, couple things. One, I'm gonna start recording the audiobook for book 3 next
Ooh,
week. Me
ooh.
and my partner are gonna be doing that.
Awesome.
So that's one thing. I am 71,000 words into book 4 of The Devil You Know, which the title is A Little Death Among Friends. You know how like book 1 is the devil, book 2
Yeah.
is God, book 3 we
Hmm.
start branching out,
Yeah.
book 4 all about death.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
so that I think is going to be the last official book in that main series. It's going to be like a quadrology or whatever you call it. I have an idea for an additional trilogy where something big happens and then each book, so each character, so again we can't say who it is, Ryan, but you've read book
Yeah.
3, so you know that there's a third main character.
Yep.
um and the idea is there's a new trilogy after this that each of those characters gets their own book.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so, back to the original for book one, where there's only one POV. I'm
Mm.
going to probably do a 3-book series where each character gets their own. But
Awesome.
I already have like 10,000 words into book two of the Corbin Pierce books. And then I have another book that I'm probably going to be publishing in January or early February. It is called My Brother's Keeper.
Mm.
It is
Okay.
another standalone. It could be a series starter, but if it is, it's going to be like a cycle where each of the books is from a different character's point of view. Um, the book My Brother's Keeper is another separate thing based entirely around Jewish magic and mysticism.
Mm.
And what most people don't know is just how much straight up demonology is in Jewish scripture. So I have a magic system and plot and everything entirely based around Jewish lore. So
Okay.
that's honestly like I I don't like to toot my own horn. Like it's the best book that I've written. And I really, really want it to be out there.
Mm.
My proofreader is reading it now, and I'm gonna get it formatted and out to a couple like very, very, very early readers. But otherwise, I'm not because again, I've got Let Sleeping Gods Lie is coming out October 27th. It's available for pre-order now.
Mm.
So I expect maybe 3-ish months later to release My Brother's Keeper.
So what you're saying is
Wow.
you're
So it's
busy.
gonna, yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Oh, I also have a secret project that I can't talk about until
Ooh.
October 22nd. There's a annual contest called the Inkfort Publishing Derby,
Hmm.
where authors get assigned a cover and a title, and with no preparation, you have to write a story
Oh,
based
I've
on
heard of
that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
minimum 10,000 words. And then winning means you publish. So publishing is winning.
Yeah.
So I won the Inkfort
Oh,
Publishing
wow.
Derby in that I have a secret book out there under a pen name that I can't reveal until the official end of Derby. So like I've been massively busy and
Mm.
I don't see that letting up anytime soon.
Well, if you want to tell us now, because this episode's coming out on the
I was
29th,
gonna say that.
29th.
Yeah.
So you technically, I mean, unless
Eh.
unless you're like you can't tell us, unless we can sign an NDA. I've got a pen.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Up to you. Up to you.
I will admit I co-authored it.
Okay.
And so I would have to get buy-in from my co-author to do
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So
All right.
I'll leave
Yeah.
it as a
All
secret.
right. Yeah, okay.
But regardless, yeah. So on top of like I felt like I hadn't published anything
Hmm.
since the end of 2024, but then I realized how much I've done in
Yeah.
2025, like two audiobooks, a secret book.
Yeah.
I have 2 books in the can. I'm writing another it's I
Yeah.
yeah, I got a
No,
lot.
it's been the same for me. I got 3 books coming out this year. 2 have already been out. I've started my sixth book, number 6, which I'm going like, how the hell did this happen? Like,
It
um,
feels
I
insane, doesn't
know.
it?
yeah, I'm going like 6.
I, f- I feel like I've read this year, I've read more of your work than I've read ever because
Yeah.
we had Ancora, which I read, with I Destin coming out in November, which I've read. The Boy Who Slayed the Gargoyle, which is out now, which I've read,
Mm.
and now starting to read your new one, which obviously probably won't be out this year, but like I feel like you've just been
Yeah.
pumping it.
I've been pumping it. I wish people would read it as hardcore as I write it. Yeah.
Well, like I say
Same.
every book I've read, and it goes the same with every indie author that I've read more than one of their books. Every book that I've read of yours, Jamie, just get better and better and better. So if a lot of people are reading the Emu Awards, which is what you
Number one
say,
seller.
they should be like you should keep going, especially with Ancora and I Destin. I think one of the best. I mean, I'm not a massive sci-fi guy. I
Mm.
just like a little bit of Star Wars and a little bit of Star Trek, but
Mm.
um, I loved it. I loved it, and the fact that it's set in, Australia as well. It's fantastic. I think people just need to start reading more indie authors. I
Yeah.
mean, 4 or 5 years ago when we started doing these interviews, I hadn't read any indie authors, and now I'm reading nothing but indie authors. So, I mean, that's changed my whole perspective on authors in general. The only traditional author I read two. One is Joe Hill and one is Stephen King. And Joe Hill, as you know, is Stephen King's son. Um, and I just because I've been reading Stephen King since I could read, since like, 10 or 11 when I
Mm.
started reading hardcore books, I started reading Stephen King and I'll keep reading it. And Joe Hill, his son, is just an amazing horror author. He actually wrote. I found out the movie that I'm going to see a movie after this, The Black Phone 2.
No,
I watched the first one last night just to refresh my memory, and I didn't realize it's the Joe Hill story, which is probably why I like it so
Mm.
much.
I did not know that. I'll have to tell my
Yeah.
partner too, because they've been lukewarm on watching it, but
Mhm. No,
but yeah,
it's
that
it's
that'll change their mind.
Well, it's the fact that, when I watched it the first time when it first came out, it was an awesome one and done because obviously I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie, but the end is quite finite. And then the way that they sort of brought about the sequel, there is a line in the trailer that says, when the grabber is the name of the bad guy, and he's talking to the main character, and he's like, "You should know that dead doesn't mean dead." And I'm like, "Okay,
It
okay."
was all a dream.
No, it freaking wasn't. It was not all a freaking dream. If it is, I'm going to walk out of that. I'm going to roll out of that. I'm going to roll out of that cinema very, very unhappy.
Awesome. Well, you've got a lot of things coming up, Ben. So we want to give you
Mhm.
some more ideas by playing a round of story pitch, which is our new game. Um, because our last episode turned out pretty good. We gave that author 4 books, you know?
Yeah, and he actually did really well. He was a college professor
Mm.
over in Pennsylvania, I think.
Yep.
Jamie said he was from Bethlehem, and I'm like, is that you, Jesus? But no, Bethlehem in America.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were two. But yeah, he did really well. He
Yeah.
picked up everything on the fly and smashed it. So I'm
Uh,
looking forward to seeing what you've got
Ben.
out
Ooh.
of this.
Um,
Okay.
have you seen any of these that we've posted? We've been doing them for a little while, Ben.
I saw a bit of one. I didn't want to like spoil the experience. Like I
Okay.
wanted to come at it fresh.
All right. Okay.
Well,
Well,
that's why we changed it. Because I said to Jamie initially when we started doing it, I was like, we're gonna have to change these. You do realize because if we keep doing the same ones, the authors all they need to do is watch the last episode of the podcast and
yeah.
they'll know.
Yeah.
So Jamie has made it a little bit more difficult. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
six numbers, you can pick from 1 to 12.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's a lot more in it.
Yeah. So basically, give us a number between 1 and 12 for setting, genre, main character's profession, and I got to change it because we say optional edition, but everyone wants to do it, so it's an addition.
Yeah.
And then you got to pitch us a story out of those little characters. So
Perfect. Is so quick question. Is there a secret number 13 or is it really just
no,
1 through
it's
12?
it's
No,
really just 1
it's
to
just
12.
12.
Okay. So I could give you 4 numbers.
Yep.
Let's go
Mhm.
for 2, 5, 9, 12.
2, 5, 9,
Oh,
12.
12. 12 again. We had 12 last night in the optional edition. So
Oh.
I
Um,
only know because I do optional editions and genres. So
Oh, and if you want to switch it up, I can pick a different
no, no, no,
number.
no, no, no. I
no,
want to see
okay,
what you
no.
do with number 12.
I no,
Okay.
I will allow because I know on the Mirthquake podcast he does this.
No, but I want to
No,
see
no,
what Ben will do.
yeah, well you can. No, but I'm saying like because we've had it so recently, you can have one swap for a different number, but you don't know what you're swapping for. So
Nah,
I'm gonna allow
I'll
that.
go. Ryan seems excited to hear my take on it, so let's
All
go with
right.
it.
All right. Okay. So your setting is a cabin in the woods.
Mhm.
Okay.
The genre was five, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Your genre is my all-time favorite. It's horror.
Okay.
So far you're doing well. You've got A Cabin in the Woods and horror, which is pretty much half the horror movies out there.
You're gonna love it even.
Seriously.
You're gonna love it even more because your main character is a birthday clown.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
you've got clowns, and I want to see how you incorporate this because this one's going to throw you. So your optional addition, which is something that must appear in this story, are dinosaurs.
No, you don't even understand. So I can't talk about my secret project,
Oh
but
God.
like I will tell you that there's a dinosaur involved.
Oh God.
You've already
God.
written it.
But is it a dinosaur in a cabin in the woods with a horror birthday clown?
No, no,
Yeah.
there isn't. Um, okay. Okay. So the book centers around it's the sad story of Jojo the clown.
Okay.
But unfortunately, like it's gonna be it's imagine it like a black and white genre in that this is the saddest clown because he can't even dress like a clown because
Oh.
he is tied to his ancestral home, this rundown cabin in the woods, because it is his lot in life to care for the family pet, which is like a bloodthirsty coelacanth that lives in the lake.
Wow.
And he can only sate the monster's thirst for blood with that of children who he lures to the house with the promise
Damn.
of like a birthday thing, like a clown performance. And when they show up, there is no clown.
There was only death waiting.
There's only death by coelacanth.
Wow. I like it. I like
Mm,
it. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, I was like a little more of a movie than a book, but like
yeah,
it could do.
yeah.
Does
Okay.
not matter. We'll take it.
A story is a story.
Exactly. That's why we have, we don't just have authors on the show. We have filmmakers, TV show
mhm,
makers, and
yeah.
All right. Well, if
we have
someone wants
all
to
of them.
option that from me, we'll split it, the three
Yeah,
of us.
yeah. Oh, all right.
Maybe patent it. Maybe patent
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
You know, before everything, goes through.
Hmm. All right, let's go round two, Ben. Let's go round
Okay.
two.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
We got a
I
different
definitely
graph.
have time. Yeah.
We got a different graph. So, give us the numbers for this for the graph number two.
Okay. So number two, let's go with 1, 3, 7, 10.
1, 3, 7, 10. Okay. One of my favorite settings is a community radio station.
Okay. What was the number for genre?
3.
3.
Three. Okay. So we're looking at. Oh, sorry. We're going for the second graph.
Yep.
Oh God, my computer playing up. Okay. Number three. Okay. Your genre is historical fiction.
All right. Your main character is a sommelier, a wine taster. A sommelier.
Sommelier.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was the number for optional edition?
10. Oh, yes! 10. I've been waiting for this
10.
one.
This is one that Jamie added in yesterday, and he absolutely was raving about it last night before we started. So well done. Your optional addition, which is something that needs to appear in your story, is a grumpy old man sitting on a rocking chair, holding a shotgun, constantly screaming, "Get off my lawn!"
Oh man. Okay, so sorry. Community radio station,
Historical fiction.
historical fiction,
A,
uh,
a wine taster.
one sommelier, and the old man on
With
his lawn in a rocker with a shotgun
yeah,
screaming, "Get off my lawn."
yeah. Well, it doesn't say he
Yeah,
has.
he's sitting on his porch.
Well, it doesn't
Oh,
say.
okay.
No, it just says sitting on a. There is a technicality here. It says a grumpy old man sitting on a rocking chair, holding a shotgun, screaming, Get off my lawn!" So technically, he doesn't have to be on his lawn, or you know, he could be anywhere.
That's tr that's true. Okay. So historical fiction. I'm gonna say the pitch for this book. It's historical fiction. This is the secret life of Casey Kasem, the historical radio
Okay.
voice.
Mm.
When in fact Casey Kasem really all he wanted to do ever was to be a wine sommelier.
Mm.
But his grumpy bastard of a father who would spend his days on his porch with his shotgun screaming at children to get off of his lawn wouldn't have anything to do with it, forcing Casey to go work at the community radio station.
Mm. I love it. Oh, that was brilliant, and I thought that was going to be
Nice.
hard.
I got a little improv in me.
I seriously love this game. Um, and like I said on our last episode, guys, if you guys buy a shirt, give us some love, I'll make a spinny wheel in the background. So I'll spin the wheel and it'll be much more fun, you know? Yeah, well,
And you know what? If people buy my shirt instead of the funds going to feed my little cats, I will donate the funds to Jamie building a spinny wheel board.
there you go. Oh, well, Ben, thank you for joining us for round two.
Thank
It was a
you.
blast.
And thank you for giving me two new audiobooks to listen to.
Thank you for
No, I'm not
purchasing
joking.
them.
No, I'm not joking. I literally have an Audible account that I've been paying for the last 12 months, and there hasn't been any new books that I've wanted. Because with my audiobooks, I literally have Matthew Riley books, which is what I grew up on as well. I have a horror author named PJ Tracy, who has a fantastic series called the Monkey Wrench series, and she does a new
Mhm.
book every couple of years. And that's it. So I had like 11 credits, so now I have 9 left, and I have 2 books that I'm looking forward to hearing you and your partner read.
Well, thank you. I definitely let me know what you think, and I can't wait to hear
Is
your
it is
thoughts
it
on. Hmm?
I was just going to say, is it just you and your partner doing the audiobook? Just 2 of you doing those voices?
Yeah, and we do it. It's not duet. It's dual
Okay.
narration in that
Hmm.
I voice
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the chapters from the male point of
Yeah.
view, and then
Yep.
they voice the chapters from the female point of view. Because that's the kind of
Yeah.
audiobook
Okay.
I grew up
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So that's what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to soften your voice a little
Definitely.
bit and
I
sound like a
I I
lady.
like
No,
to.
no, I do
Yeah?
do that. I'm
All right.
saying like that's my point is I
All right. Yeah.
don't it's not a duet narration where I
Oh,
cut in their
oh, okay.
voice.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, I do the whole chapter, all the
Yeah.
voices. They do
Yeah.
a different whole chapter,
Okay.
all the voices.
That's cool. That's
No,
cool.
I love books like that. So that's awesome. And look, I made it through, and my food delivery is getting delivered in 5 minutes. So I'm happy
Perfect.
that I didn't have to cut out of the interview for like 10 minutes. So well done.
There you go.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
So, Ben, I think this goes without saying, Ben, too. You're welcome back anytime when you want to sell more books to Ryan.
Yes,
If you.
definitely. Or more
I'll
audiobooks or
I'll
whatever. But
be
now that I follow you on Audible, I follow you on Audible. So
Mm,
when the third one is done, I can just download it straight away.
there you go.
you'll be notified. Fantastic.
Yep. Um, I
Yeah.
wish I had more of an income because I would be buying lot more indie books. Now that I'm starting to read more of them.
Yeah.
When I'm not writing them.
Well, you
Um,
should jump on Kindle Unlimited, Jamie. You jump on Kindle Unlimited because not pretty much all of the indie authors we have on
yeah,
here on the show, I buy their books, get them through Kindle Unlimited, and then I read them as part of my 14.99 a month. And then, once if I like them, I buy them. There's a little option
yeah,
underneath where you can pay however much. And generally with indie authors, the books aren't more than $10.
yeah,
So if people that are listening are like yourself, Kindle Unlimited is fantastic,
yeah.
especially for indie authors. And then go ahead and buy the books if you like them too, because generally most indie author books are under $10,
Yep.
which is it's a bargain for me because you get to read them whenever you want.
And mine are all 99 cents, so grab them while they're hot.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of authors are doing that around, I think, like Prime Day or something,
Yeah.
Prime something like that. A lot of authors that I follow on Twitter are currently having all their books for 99 cents, which is, I mean, that means for something like $4 or $5, you can get all Jamie's books, his
Yeah.
entire collection so far. So
Mm.
it'd be silly not to. It's definitely worth more than $5, but yeah.
Yeah. Now that we've plugged me, Ben, the floor's yours. Tell our listeners where they can follow you, buy your books, support you. Have at it.
So you can find me at my website, benschenkman.com. Unfortunately, you'll have to spell it, but like my name's right here.
Yeah.
There's a links page there where you can get all my socials. I'm on every social media except for the artist formerly known as Twitter, because that's a hellscape. And I'm on TikTok and all that.
Yep.
So like, please find me. My ebooks are all exclusive to Amazon because I'm in Kindle Unlimited.
Yep.
So they are available there, but paperbacks and hardcovers are available
Yeah.
wherever it is that you prefer to get them. Audiobooks are the first two are widely available. So yes, Audible, but also all the other platforms. And the latest book, Let Sleeping Gods Lie, is available for pre-order now, and will be released on October 27th. So,
Ooh,
grab
so-
it and make me a #1 release day seller kind of thing.
Well, you can actually say, we'll get you to say that again because this episode is out 2 days after that. So just say, out now.
Out now, Let Sleeping Gods Lie by Ben Schenkman, author of the Devil You Know series, which has over 600 ratings and 250 reviews across the series on Amazon, all it over 4 stars.
You heard it here, guys. So thank you guys for listening. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles and Martin Kearns. And we'll catch you on the next episode.